Hello folks, welcome to another video. From 1 October, GST will be added to services provided by non-residents to consumers in New Zealand. This has been dubbed the Netflix tax, and it applies to the likes of music, software, ebooks, streaming and downloads from overseas suppliers. Well, actually it applies to any services, including more traditional services like design, accounting or education. In New Zealand, a business must register for GST when its annual turnover is likely to exceed $60,000. This same threshold will apply to non-residents providing services to New Zealand consumers. They'll be required to register for GST in New Zealand and collect GST on their sales to New Zealand consumers. But overseas suppliers will only charge GST on services provided to consumers, not on those provided to businesses. In effect, this means that the supply of overseas services to New Zealand businesses will be zero rated for GST, which means no GST claim by the New Zealand business because they won't have paid GST in the first place. The default assumption for the overseas supplier will be that their New Zealand customer is a consumer and that GST will therefore be chargeable. If the New Zealand customer supplies a GST number as evidence that they are in fact a business, the overseas supplier will not add GST to the cost of the services. So if you're a non-GST registered New Zealand business, you'll be unable to provide a GST number. So it seems you'll be caught with having to pay GST as though you were a consumer. Because the default position is to charge GST, there will no doubt be many a time when GST registered New Zealand businesses are inadvertently charged GST. When this happens, they'll have to seek a refund from the supplier rather than including the GST payment in their GST return and getting a credit from the IRD. The non-resident supplier will then make an adjustment in their own GST return to correct the error. So the mechanism will be a little bit different to what we're used to, although the end result will be the same. Although many New Zealand consumers might resent paying an additional 15% for services like Netflix or Spotify, this will help to level the playing field for New Zealand suppliers that create jobs, pay tax and make things happen in this country. Thanks for listening, and please hit the subscribe button below for more video updates as they happen.